Is CW dead, or is it becoming more popular? The Ham Radio Guy joke of the week, amateur radio news, current projects, and so much more. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the Ham Radio Guy podcast. I'm Marvin and my call sign is W0MET. Whether you're an experienced ham or just getting started, this podcast is for you. We're bringing you the latest of topics, news, and information, and all things amateur radio, each episode right here to this show. This is episode number 44. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Well, it's been a very busy couple weeks, and one of them is taking a little bit of my time is the segment feature we're going to be talking about today, and that is CW alive or dead? And that's been a lot of research to go through. There's so much information out there, and I'll let you make that decision, but I want you to be able to think about that a little bit before I get into it. My next thing is you can probably hear the radio on behind me this evening, playing a little bit with a Flex. It's been kind of interesting to go through that. But it's got some great receive capability. Really love it. And the thing I'm working a lot of projects on right now was getting my trailer some more prep ready for winter field day. And then I've also been building a shelf, which I've hopefully got a video coming on that. I did some time lapse on the video, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to slow that down. It actually did a little too fast, more than I wanted for speed. And I don't know if I can go back and change that now after the fact in the video edit, but we'll see. We'll throw it out there if I can. But it's really getting to be fall time and very cool around here. I do have a Hustler 6B vertical I'm going to try and get put up tomorrow. And I'd like to be able to have two antennas ready to work my radios here and play with that a little bit. I've got another disc cone. I've got an antenna lengthened on. And something I might be doing a little videoing tomorrow on as well. We're going to be talking about some station grounding and some interesting things that I've learned going through that process of whether you put all your grounds to just a one solid point on a ground bar inside your shack, or should you put them on separate, holes or bolt holes along the way. Can you create a ground loop off of that? So if you know anything about that, something I've been reading, I'm kind of torn both ways, whether I go to a single point and then take it from that single point and go the ground out with some ground strap. We'll see how that all turns out, but I think that will be very interesting to continue to work on that and see how I can improve some RF, potentially, maybe in my shack. Well, as always, I will leave the link in the newsletter or in the show notes for my newsletter sign up, and I'd love to be able to have you be a part of that next newsletter that comes out here in just the next week or two. Of course, we can't forget our sponsor, Dakota Lithium, your ultimate outdoor power solution. Discover the ultimate outdoor indoor power solution with Dakota Lithium. Their lithium iron phosphate batteries deliver unbeatable performance and durability for all your adventures. With high energy density and long cycle life, they provide reliable power wherever you go. From camping to going off-grid living, built tough to withstand extreme conditions, and our batteries are a reliable companion in any environment. Choose a variety of sizes, capacities to suit your need. Upgrade to Dakota Lithium today and experience the difference. And check out my link and save 5% in your show notes. I've got several of them. I've got one of them set up now, officially set up, with a battery backup in my shack here, which is nice to have. And then I've got several of them I've used for outdoor POTA things. I even dropped one the other day. Didn't crack it, didn't have any issues, survived just fine. I had another one I think I maybe discussed on an earlier podcast earlier this summer, and that was the batteries left out during field day, and it was just completely drenched. Never had an ounce of problems with it. Still fully utilizing it today. The solar panel that I had go with it, I was charging with, worked beautiful. Charged up the battery, no problem. Even in the pouring rain, it got completely wet. So hopefully we'll do a video on that one too. If you'd like to help support the channel and become a patron, look for me on patreon.com/thehamradioguy. There are 3 levels you can support the channel at: Technician, General, and Extra. You can simply support the channel at $2 a month or get the Extra Class membership with more benefits, and I'll be offering a 30% discount for my Black Friday to join at the Extra level. Be a part of this community, help support the channel, and continue to keep this going. I really enjoy doing this, and I love providing the content for you guys, and I hope that you find value in it. And if you really do, or if you want to share this with your friends and other ham radio fellow operators, I would be honored to have you do that, or just join the Patreon channel. And I'd like to get just one or two more here to join in for the FTM 300 giveaway. And I hope that you will, again, find value on this channel and subscribe to the Patreon, where you can get a whole lot more information. I've got another video coming out soon for some back-end information that only you'll get if you are a member of the podcast. So look forward to that for patrons that are out there. And I do appreciate those who have joined anywhere from the free level up to the to the extra level. Appreciate you being and supportive of this channel and keeping this going. Well, with this, let's get into a little bit of news. The ARRL, the National Association for Amateur Radio, is excited to announce that its 19th annual online auction, supported by RT Systems Incorporated, raised $47,000 to benefit STEM education initiatives in amateur radio. This was held from October 18th to the 24th, 2024, and the auction attracted considerable attention, with 329 bidders competing for a wide range of items, including radio equipment, vintage books, unique mystery junk boxes from the ARRL lab. A total of 206 items were available, generating over 1,430 bids. 40 of these items even extended into overtime bidding. This year's event proved a success, raising more than $47,000 for the advancement of amateur radio and STEM education. And for our second story of the week, we'll be keeping it short because our segment is going to be much longer this time, and that's broadcast radio towers continue to fall. It seems that broadcast radios are falling with an increased frequency of late. The latest is a tower in Missouri, AM radio station KRMO, 990 kilohertz, collapsed on October 24th after one of its guy wires snapped, narrowly missing the transmitter, according to the industry media reports. The incident marked the third destruction of a U.S. broadcast tower in October. Local media reports say that one of the co-owners, Dwayne Gandy of Eagle Broadcasting, witnessed the collapse as he was mowing nearby. The tower was 75 years old and maintenance work had recently been performed. While the owners make plans to restore a tower to the site, the station is transmitting via sharing access on the KSWM AM 940 kHz tower in Aurora, Missouri. The collapse is the latest of string of incidents leading to the destruction of broadcast towers in the USA. A helicopter crash near downtown Houston on October 20th resulted in 4 fatalities and caused the collapse of a tower broadcasting 2 Televisa Union Vision stations. They were struck off the air when private touring helicopter made contact with the structure. And also recently, a hot air balloon participating in the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta collided with and destroyed the 650-foot AM radio tower of KKOB AM on October 11th. The station was knocked off the air. The 3 passengers aboard the balloon were reported safe after the incident. The Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office reported that the balloon carrying 3 passengers landed safely in a nearby field. All news is sourced from ARRL, ARRL Newsline, POTA, AMSAT, and other sources around the country. And this is not really making a news story per se, but starting, I believe, on November 11th, the International Space Station will be doing slow scan television images again being released over the air. So at 145.800, I believe, is the frequency for that. For if you're going to get a chance to go out and do a international satellite slow scan television download, or if you have the capability inside your shack to be able to do that, just be aware that might be happening as well over the next week or so. And I think that's in honor of the 40th anniversary of amateur radio in space. So again, just another news story to throw out there. And this is all the amateur radio news with a release date of November 8th, 2024. Let's get into the Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week. It's now time for the Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week, where Rick tells us the joke. The Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week is brought to you by Ham Radio Prep. Now here is Rick Garrett, N9 GSU, with today's Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week.
My Parks on the Air partner and I like to go do all-day activations, and so we always pack a lunch. And I usually pack a sandwich, maybe a piece of pie, plenty to drink. He brings nothing but apples, a whole bag full of apples. I finally asked him one day, "Are you addicted to apples?" He said, "Yes, I am. And the worst thing about it, I can't see a doctor about it."
This has been the Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week with Rick Garrett, N9 GSU. Turn in next week for another joke from Rick. Ham Radio Prep. If you're looking to get your ham radio license or looking at getting an upgrade or learning more about HF operating, head over to Ham Radio Prep. Check out their multiple series of courses. Save 20% discount on everything with code Ham Radio Guy. Grab your smartphone or tablet and download their app. It's free for iOS and Android. And our other sponsor I'd like to be able to throw a shout out to is Get Ready to Gear Up with all your favorite POTA swag and ham radio essentials. Club Gear Online is launching soon with an exclusive POTA activator shirt and more. Don't miss out on the Black Friday deals. Perfect for grabbing new gear at great prices. Stay tuned and be ready to shop. Find a link to both of these, Ham Radio Prep and Club Gear Online, in the show notes description. If you ever have questions or comments about this podcast, please feel free to reach out to me at w0met@thehamradioguide.com. Well, let's get into our main segment of the week. Is CW dead, or is it becoming more popular? I'll let you decide as I take you down the path of its history, the simplicity and technology over the years, and why it is still being used today. I have some fun facts to share as well. Now, the invention of Morse code allowed the translation of the electric pulses of the telegraph machine into regular English by giving each letter and number a fixed combination of short and long signals. Together, Morse code and telegraph both fundamentally altered long-distance communications, which we will discuss more in a minute here. Now, Morse code, a method of encoding text characters, is standardized sequences of two different signal durations, called dots and dashes. And this has remained a resilient and efficient mode of communication. It's particularly revered in the world of amateur radio. Of course, that's where we are here today, where it serves not just as a bridge to the past, but as a testament to the enduring value of simplicity in our increasingly complex technology landscape. Now, these dots and dashes represent alphabets, punctuations, numbers, and are transmitted via sound, light, or radio waves. Now, International Morse code encodes the 26 basic Latin letters of A to Z, with one extended Latin letter being E and a small set of punctuation and procedural signals. There is no distinction between upper and lower cases. Each Morse code symbol is formed by a sequence of dits and das. The dit duration can vary from signal to clarity and operator skill, but for any one message, once established, it is the basic unit of time measurement in Morse code. The duration of a da is 3 times the duration of a dit. Although some telegraphers deliberately exaggerate the length of a da for clearer signaling, each dit or da within an encoded character is followed by a period of signal absence called a space. It's equal to the dit duration. The letters of a word are separated by a space of duration equal to 3 dits, and words are separated by a space equal to 7 dits. Hopefully you got that at this point. It is a lot to kind of take in about dits and das. Now, Morse code can be memorized and sent in a form perceptible to the human sense via sound waves or visible light, such that it can be directed and interpreted by persons trained in the skill. Now, I'd certainly say it is a skill by all means. Now, Morse code is usually transmitted by on and off keying of information-carrying medium, such as electric current, radio waves, visible light, or sound waves. The current or wave is present during the time period of the dit or da and absent during the time between dits and das. To increase the efficiency of transmissions, Morse code was originally designed so that the duration of each symbol is approximately inverse to the frequency of occurrence of the character that it represents in text of the English language. Thus, the most common letter in English, the letter E, has the shortest code, a single dit. Because the Morse code elements are specified by proportion rather than specific time durations, the code is usually transmitted at the highest rate that the receiver is capable of decoding. Morse code transmissions rate speed is specified in the groups per minute, commonly referred to as words per minute. see how complicated this is. It's really pretty simple, but there's a lot of time and research for me to kind of learn about all this and figure this out, and pulling a lot of data and information from a lot of different sources online, which you'll find a copy of all that in my show notes of where it may come from. I'm not hiding anything. It's all public knowledge. It's all came off the web, but thought this was more than I could just probably try and explain in one paragraph or a couple sentences and make a shorter podcast about CW Morse code. It was just not going to be a simple 10-minute thing. So a little bit more go here. Let's see where we go. An experienced listener may decode the Morse code without any special tools or equipment. The pioneer, Samuel Morse, an artist turned inventor, was not the sole creator of the telegraph, but his contributions to its development and the creation of Morse code were pivotal. His vision for a system of communication that could transcend geographical barriers was realized through the years of experimentation and collaboration with his assistant, Alfred Vail, who co-developed the electrical telegraph system at the beginning of 1836. Morse's dedication to the project was fueled by personal tragedy, the loss of his wife, which he learned of too late due to the slow communication methods of the time. Underscoring the human desire to connect and communicate more effectively. So the impact on communication technologies, Samuel Morse developed the code in electric telegraph, which marked the beginning of instant long-distance communication, by providing a means to transmit messages quickly over vast distances. Morse code was instrumental in the growth of international trade, aiding in the expansion of railroads and across continents and becoming a critical tool in the military communications. Moreover, Morse's code influence extended beyond the telegraph into the early days of radio communication. It was adapted for use in radio telegraphy, allowing ships at sea and isolated communities to communicate with the wider world. This adaptability showcased the code's simplicity and efficiency, making it an invaluable asset in the development of early communication technologies. Let's take a moment here and hear a word from one of our sponsors.
Looking for top quality cables that you can trust? ABR Industries has you covered. Proudly American built and reliable, ABR Industries delivers premium coax cable and connectors for all your communication needs. Whether you're a ham radio operator, work in broadcast, or manage critical infrastructure, ABR ensures that you are connected when it matters most.
And it has such tremendously different characteristics.
From static to clarity, ABR products. Built tough, built here, built for you. ABR Industries. American built and reliable. Visit abrind.com today and experience the strength of superior connectivity. It's the only coax here in the W0MET Ham Shack. Use code SAVE10 Ham Radio Guy. ABR Industries, where reliability meets performance. Now we will return back to our normal scheduled conversation about CW. So, here are 5 interesting facts about Morse code you didn't know, or you may not know. So, Morse code saved hundreds on the Titanic. We all know the tragic tale of the Titanic and the heroic rescue of 700 passengers from the royal ship on the 14th of April, 1912, was made possible due to the wireless telegraphy technology in the Morse code. The Titanic was equipped with the best wireless technology manufactured by the Marconi Company. On the fatal night of the 14th of April, the Titanic slammed into the iceberg in the calm sea. Harold Cottam, the radio operator on the adjacent ship named the Cunard liner Carpathia, was still awake and received the first distress signal transmitted by the Titanic's senior radio operator, Jack Phillips. The Morse code was sent via CQD DEMGY, where CQD meant come quick disaster, DE stood for this is, and MJY was the Titanic's call sign. When Carpathia got distress signal from the Titanic, it immediately turned towards its given position, which was 60 miles away. The second thing, musicians have used the Morse code too. You'll be surprised to learn that the International Morse code is not written language, but a sound-based one. Each letter of the code is represented by a combination of short and long sounds known as dots and dashes, which we discussed a few minutes ago. An eighth note is played for each dot or short sound. A quarter note is played for each dash or long sound. Moreover, these are not just two sounds, long and short. Rather, they are 5 distinct sounds, da, d, 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 diddy, did, that make up this Morse code. When you think about it, Morse code is a collection of rhythmic patterns, so it's no surprise that the use of Morse code also has impacted the music industry. Yes, songs by musicians such as the B-52s, Roger Waters, Kraftwerk have all used Morse code, either as a sound effect or as part of the song's actual musical composition. The song Better Days by Natalia Gutierrez y Angelo, London Calling by Mick Jones, Strawberry Fields Forever by the Beatles, and Radioactivity by Kraftwerk all have Morse code. Number 3. There are multiple Morse codes today. You'd assume there's a universal Morse code. However, that is not the case. Rather, there are 2 types of Morse codes, the original American Morse code and the International Morse code. The American Morse code was developed in the 1830s after it was introduced into Europe. It became evident that it lacked codes for letters with markings for different languages and non-English text. An alternative known as International Morse code was developed by a gathering of European nations in 1851. The Japanese version, the Wabon code, or the SCATS, the Korean Morse code, are all examples of International Morse code that use the Latin alphabet. The most popular is the International Morse code that is widely used across the board. Now, bandwidth considerations. In physics, bandwidth refers to the range of frequencies over which a signal is distributed. Morse code, particularly when sent as a continuous wave signal, is exceptionally efficient in terms of bandwidth. Its narrow bandwidth enables Morse code signals to travel long distances with minimal power, unlike broader bandwidth signals such as voice, which usually requires several kilohertz. In contrast, Morse code can operate effectively with a bandwidth of less than 100 hertz, making it ideal for long-distance communication where preserving signal strength is crucial. A signal-to-noise ratio is essential for maintaining a signal's clarity against background noise. Morse code's binary nature is characterized by either the presence or absence of a signal. Greatly enhances its SNR, signal-to-noise ratio. This simplicity ensures that Morse code signals remain clear and intelligible even in high noise environments where the other forms of communication might struggle. The ability of Morse code to maintain a strong SNR reflects its design, optimized for clear and reliable and clear transmissions across diverse conditions. Now, for those who are experienced and have been in amateur radio for a long time, I think they probably realize that CW is a staple for DXing and contest. The hobby of receiving and identifying distance radio signals is called DXing. It remains one of the arenas where Morse code shines. Morse code's ability to be transmitted over vast distances with minimal power makes a preferred mode for amateur radio operators looking to bridge continents. In the context of contest, where speed and accuracy are paramount, Morse code's concise signals allow operators to exchange information quickly, such as call signs and location codes, without the bandwidth and power requirements of voice transmission. Now, here are some other tips for learning Morse code, and I've actually just begun a course myself with the Long Island CW Morse code, and I hear they are phenomenal, and so far it's been a great it's very warm reception to being part of that Long Island CW code and learning. But it's also one of those things that you're not going to learn overnight. You may spend 6 to 8 months figuring it all out, but it may be years before you become truly proficient at it. So here's some tips for learning Morse code. Start with the basics. Begin by familiarizing yourself with the Morse code alphabet, focusing on just a few letters at a time, prioritizing learning the most commonly used letters before moving on to less frequent ones, numerals or punctuation. This is kind of how they run their courses as well. You'll do like 3 letters at a time. You can do that each session, and you can learn them as you go. Now, utilize online resources and apps. There are numerous online resources. Again, Long Island CW Club, I believe, is probably one of the best out there, and that's from my experience so far. There's lots of applications and software design to aid in learning Morse code. These tools often include interactive lessons, quizzes, and practice exercises to help you reinforce the learning. Morse Toad and LCWO.net, Learn CW Online, are popular choices among beginners and experienced operators alike. Now, you need to practice regularly. You have to be consistent when keying, when learning Morse code, setting aside dedicated time each day for your practice, gradually increasing the complexity and length of your practice sessions as you become more comfortable. And this is something that they encourage too. So if you don't have a keyer, you can go out to like cwmorse.us. You can get a key for like $39. I paid a little bit more, got a little bit more of a heavier weight one. I went with a paddle versus a straight key. I kind of like the dit and the daw on one side or the other versus just doing a straight key concept. I think that's what I'm more comfortable with, but that's just me. But I can at least start to practice now and use an oscillator to be able to do that. And so I can hear what I'm doing and listen for those sounds. So join an amateur radio club. Many amateur radio clubs and organizations offer Morse code classes or practice sessions. Again, the Long Island CW Club. These groups provide support environment where you can learn from experienced operators and practice with peers. You can practice in on-air practice. Once you're confident enough, participating in on-the-air practice sessions can significantly improve your skills. Many amateur radio bands have designated frequencies for Morse code practice where operators of all skill levels are welcome. Again, it's just one of those things you need to continue to... I can't stress enough the importance of regular use. It's not like a bicycle where you can just ride and forget and hop back on a bike years later. I think you have to continue to maintain and improve your Morse code signals. And I think regular use is truly essential in incorporating Morse code into your amateur radio activities. Not only keeps your skills sharp, but it enriches your overall experience. Engaging in QSO conversations with other Morse code operators helps you gain experience and skill in in those CW contests and listening events or receiving practice, and just listening to Morse code broadcasts can help you increase your proficiency and speed possibly. Then the cognitive benefits of learning Morse code is that it can have improved listening skills because you really have to pay attention to what is coming at you, and decoding that Morse code requires focused listening, which can enhance your ability to discern subtle auditory signals and improve overall listening comprehension. 2, enhance your memory. Learning the Morse code alphabet and recalling it quickly during decoding exercises can strengthen memory and improve mental agility, which I think that's where I'm going to be struggling. Increased concentration, number 3. The focus required to practice and operate Morse code can improve your concentration and attention to detail in other areas of your life. And 4, the cognitive flexibility. Mastering Morse code involves adapting to various speeds, frequencies, and signal conditions, which can enhance your ability to think on your feet and adjust to new challenges. So in my conclusion, exploring the intricacies and applications of Morse code reveals its enduring value in the digital era. Amidst the rapid technology advances, Morse code's simplicity and effective highlight its timeless relevance in amateur radio. This resilient form of communication not only connects enthusiasts worldwide, but also represents the spirit of innovation, camaraderie that defines the amateur radio community. The persistence of Morse code speaks to its core strengths, its binary format of just dits and das, or dots and dashes, breaks through the technology barriers, providing communication method that's both resourceful and reliable in diverse conditions. Morse code's efficiency, enabling long-distance connections with minimal power and bandwidth, underscores its practicality into radio communication. Moreover, the unique bonds it fosters among operators makes Morse code a universal language that brings enthusiasts together across geographical, linguistic, and cultural divides. So, in my mind, CW is well alive, and it's thriving as much as anything today in amateur radio. And people continue to learn it and join courses every day, especially on the Long Island CW Club. I see new people in the classes all the time. So I think it's really something that people are taking on and really do enjoy learning. Looking for all things ham radio related? Visit the Ham Radio Guy website at thehamradioguy.com for more informative content, product reviews, and exciting blog posts. Join the conversation on your favorite podcast platform to stay up to date with the latest trends and news in the ham radio world. Connect with us on Twitter at the Ham Radio Guy for even more updates and engaging interactions. Don't miss out on the fun and knowledge. Subscribe to the Ham Radio Guy today on the patreon.com page. All right, one other thing we want to take care of a little bit here. It's a little Hamfest business coming up. Check out the ARRL Hamfest schedule for a little Hamfest near you. But the next big convention you'll definitely see me at is February 7th to the 9th, Orlando Hamcation. ARRL Southeastern Division Convention, Orlando, Florida. And I believe there's like May 16th and 17th is going to be Dayton, and I'll be there as well. So look forward to you there. And I've got new stickers to be passing out, handing out. So with the new logo, you've all probably seen, and really getting good reviews on that and really enjoying it. Well, if you're enjoying the podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe on your favorite platform and share it with others. Don't forget to rate and review the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Help us spread the word by telling your friends, family, and neighbors. And I hope that, this week's episode taught you something new to enhance your ham radio operations. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter through your podcast platform, or find us over on YouTube and comment on one of the podcasts there. You can always email me at w0met@thehamradioguy.com. As always, this is your ham radio buddy, in the chair and on the air, the Ham Radio Guy. I say 73, W0MET.